This video is brought to you by ncix.com. Great technology, selection, and service.
Hey guys, Eber here with Hardware Canucks, and today we're checking out one of the latest gaming notebooks from Gigabyte that features Intel's new Broadwell CPU, excellent mainstream gaming graphics, and a unique body design to stand out. This is the P55W, priced at $1,400 USD. It's hard to pass on such an offer given the competitive price point and features. Specs-wise, the CPU is a new Broadwell quad-core i7 5700HQ clocked at 2.7 GHz with turbo boost up to 3.5 GHz, 8 GB of RAM, a powerful NVIDIA GTX 970M with 3 GB of VRAM, and dual storage capacity with a 128GB M-SATA drive and a standard 1TB hard drive. My first impressions with the build quality were solid. I was particularly impressed with the screen rigidity, which does add on to the thickness of the body, but I don't mind it. The entire chassis, including the screen frame, is made out of a hard plastic material with a soft touch surface, so for those inclined towards aluminum or non-plastic enclosure may need to look elsewhere. Gigabyte has approached the P55W with a unique design with these aerodynamic streamlines on the front of the laptop, and the embedded logo gives the machine a nice stealth look. They've also added these orange accents on both sides for extra character. The black matte surface does feel smooth, but it is shy of hiding smudges, so do note that. Taking a look at the I/O on the left side, we have a Kensington lock, VGA output, Gigabit Ethernet, and HDMI port along with two USB 3.0 ports. On the right, we have our power input, a Blu-ray drive, a couple more USB 3.0 ports, and a dedicated headphone and microphone jack. Something we think is missing is a mini display port that many current gaming laptops are equipped with. The laptop weighs about 2.5 kilograms, and the weight distribution throughout the chassis is supreme. This allows for one-hand operation when opening the laptop, and the two hinges at the front do a fantastic job preventing the screen from wobbling while using the P55. The 15-inch display comes with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 that is IPS. Viewing angles and the contrast ratio are top-notch. Brightness levels are fine for indoor gaming, and the matte coating on the screen helps to smooth out or completely eliminate reflections. The speakers are placed to the front of the laptop, right below the palm rest, which means sound projection is not the best, as we've heard. Having angled the front-facing speakers below the screen is our preferred spot for the best projection. It also lacks the bass region that would require headphones during game time. Take a listen for yourselves. The typing experience on the P55W was excellent. The full-size chiclet-style keyboard is properly spaced, and the tactile responsiveness on the keys is phenomenal thanks to the 2.2mm key travel distance. Whether you are typing for hours or gaming, you're in for a satisfactory treat. Plus, the two levels of white backlit is gorgeous, so it's super useful in dark environments. The touchpad is not the best. Certainly it's a lot better than the P35 that we reviewed recently. Features like double tap for right click are missing, and when you zoom into a web page, zooming out is just not as responsive as I thought it would be. The two primary left and right clicks are difficult to press, and they should be lighter for easier access, and so the use of an external mouse is highly recommended. I was also surprised to see Gigabyte not include an 802.11 AC Wi-Fi card in the P55. So if you want to connect to a 5 GHz network, you have the option to swapping the M.2 Wi-Fi card. So how well does a GTX 970M handle gaming? Well, just as expected, pretty well. Starting with GTA 5 at very high settings, we were achieving a little over 50 frames per second on average, which is totally playable. Moving into Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor at ultra settings, the GPU kept up pretty well, averaging around the 50 FPS mark. Metro Last Light at high settings looked great, scoring an average frame rate in the low 40s, and the minimums hitting the high 20s. Squeezing all these specs into a relatively slim form factor means heat. The laptop did run hotter than expected, with temperatures in the CPU hitting above 90 degrees and the GPU reaching 76 degrees under load. This is because the cooling system is comprised of a single heat vent on the side of the laptop that cools both the GPU and CPU. Separate heat dissipation designs are always better, but in this case, the inclusion of a Blu-ray drive limits the internal layout for more cooling. And this is what the machine sounds like under full load. So we can say the new P55W is a hybrid between a productive and gaming notebook. It's loaded for proper mobile gaming with excellent quality build structure incorporating unique orange accents. The inclusion of a Blu-ray drive can be seen as a positive for some, but coming from a strictly gaming perspective, we would have preferred additional cooling or more storage slots. The 1080p IPS display is great, and typing has been a phenomenal experience on the laptop like this. Some drawbacks include a poor touchpad that doesn't feel responsive, and the surface isn't smooth for comfortable navigation. The lack of AC Wi-Fi is disappointing, plus the heat output makes it weigh onto the surface, and it can be felt by hands while gaming. The P55W brings a unique aesthetical refresh and a competitive price point for the specs, and it can be seen as a solid productive machine for the mainstream. Well, that concludes our review of the GIGABYTE P55W gaming laptop. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more similar content, and we'll see you in the next one.